Today, I'm going to show you guys what it's like to drive an oil tanker in the oil fields of Canada. I am just on my way to work, and I'm in Peace River. We're going to be hauling crude oil to a facility, a battery up behind Slave Lake, up in the mountains. Probably going to put on around 750, 800 kilometers today, just for one run. One run takes a minimum of 13 hours. And it's going to be, half of it will be off highway, so in the bush. It's foggy, it's wet. Hopefully I don't need chains. So, we're headed to the shop right now. Let's get into it. So this is where I work. This is Avenge Energy Services. They have, I think, 4 locations and somewhere between 300 and 400 trucks. They have hydrovacs, semi-vacs, tankers, hot oilers, and I think they even have pressure trucks. And the shop is massive. So I'll just open the gates. Figure I might as well give you a quick tour. This is brand new. It's just arrived. It's a beauty. And this shop is spectacular. This belongs to the big boss. And they do absolutely everything here. So on this side, it's all the truck repairs. I've never been in a shop at this level. Like this thing, just getting a brand new motor. Brand spanking new. And an entire crew of mechanics, and these guys are going day and night. And then go over to this side. Morning. Morning. Not sure what the bus is for. They got, you know, parts departments, supplies, all your safety stuff. But look at this. This is where the trucks get painted.
Oh, it fucking looks awesome. Like what this does to the truck.
Look at that. All right, I had to do a couple of things. Get my pre-trip out of the way. Go have a meeting, and then we'll hit the road. This is the staff gym you get to use. So I do chin-ups every day before I go to work. But that's pretty cool. I've never seen one blown that bad before. All right, now time to go. Get my tanker ready. I'll go show you which one I get. You gotta start in a try drive before you get to move to the Super Bs around here. So that on the left is a Super B with 2 trailers. They have a much bigger sleeper. And this is the bad boy I get. And it gets dirty out there. So when you're doing this kind of work, because you're off-roading every single day, your pre-trip is actually more important than ever. And a lot of guys like to skip things like, you know, I know it's got oil, so I'm not going to pop the hood today. But every single day I find something wrong. I've had a flat tire 2 days in a row. Right now I have a wiper coming apart. I have a wire hanging down, rubbing on the steering. So we need to strap that up out of the way. I blew an airline another day, and that was just during my training week. Today's the first day I'm going out by myself. So your pre-trip is very important on these things. I'll show you why. Mud is just part of it every single day. It's everywhere. You know, the radiators get full of dust from the roads when you're following all the other tankers on the dusty roads. The radiator for the hydraulics gets packed full of mud because it's behind a cab, so it doesn't cool as good when you're unloading and the hydraulics start to overheat. I lost a cap for the fuses, so had to put a bag on it to get it off the mountain. You know, like this wire here, I just popped the hood this morning and see this wire's hanging down, rubbing on my steering. You know, I believe that's just a sensor, but still, pretty sure at some point that's gonna just rub right through, we're gonna ground out, rip off, something. So, I'll pull up the shop, do a couple of things. You know, like, this is what your wheels look like every single day. Those things are handy so that you don't have to check your lugs every single day. If a lug comes loose, one of those won't be in line with all the others. But I'm ready to start it up and let it build some air. Turn the batteries on. Gotta fill up the air tanks. So we are ready to roll out now. Everything took a lot longer than I thought this morning. Repairs needed to be made, so I thought I'd show you guys around a little bit. But certain parts of this I won't be able to show you, like loading and unloading procedures. When I'm doing that, to me it's really important that I focus. I do not want to be the guy who has a spill ever. Spilling oil sucks. But I'll give you the best rundown I can. So now we're going to hit the road. The highways around here are super straight and super boring. But we'll see how it goes. Because we're only about an hour and a half away from location. And it's probably 3/4 highway on that part and the rest off-road. So let's get going. And this is Peace River. Gotta cross the bridge here. It's not a big town. They got everything you need here. Grocery stores, you know, gas stations, hotels, car dealerships, Walmart. Even got home hardware. I don't know what people do, but I have discovered they have car events here. Just so happens it's raining right now. And I have also discovered where the cars are hiding. In case you watched the other video where I'm trying to find cars up here, trucks. Well, there's another video coming out as soon as I get a day off. And I have found mud boggers and old cars. Found an old military truck. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a day off. I don't know when that's going to be yet. I had to do, I think 5 days of training. Actually, no, I did, yeah, 5 days of training. That's what I did. And the toughest thing about the training was learning where to go around here, because you're 800 kilometers here, 800 kilometers there, make a left here in these fields and a right in that fields, and they all look the same. So figuring your way around to the locations is the toughest part. When it comes to the operation of the tanker, that's not difficult at all. You have a lever, you have 4 little valve switches, you got a cap on the end of the tank so it can breathe in. The tank is literally just 2 tanks split down the middle. You fill one up, you fill the other up. You got a couple of meters that read the levels of the tanks. It's very simple to run the tanker itself. But there are things you really want to focus on. When you get to the facilities, a lot of times they have an extra valve, an extra switch that nobody's told you about. Alright, I gotta stop and fuel up. Oil tanker, the going rate is $38 to $40 an hour. This company, you do time and a half after you've worked 50 hours in the week, and then after your 50 hours, you're literally time and a half all day, every day until the week resets. So it takes you about, on the 4th day, you're into your 50 hours. Somewhere halfway in the middle of the day. So then you have the rest of the week is just time and a half. So I'm going to take a wild guess. It's about 8 to 10 grand take home a month, depending on how many days you work. It's not like that all the time. You might run into issues where it rains too much, the roads are shut down. Sometimes they run into issues and they got to shut the oil production down. Things change. But that is the going rate for most of the companies up here. And this company is so big, and I think it's actually going to be mandatory now. I can't remember when that's coming in, but all these trucks have cameras that are watching the road. And they monitor your speed. There's zero speeding. That camera will tell you when you're going too fast. It'll start talking to you. And the boss gets a pop-up back at his office on his computer if you're speeding, if you don't stop at a stop sign, any infractions, all that stuff it happens quick. Wow, it's pouring rain right now. So there's no rush. You're by the hour. You can only do the speed limit. You have to stop. Even the mountain roads are all GPS. And while some of them say 80 kilometers an hour, our trucks, they want us going no faster than 55 kilometers an hour because of the road conditions. It's too hard on the trucks. So if guys are doing 80, they're just destroying the trucks. So it is what it is. That's why you can count on minimum 13 hours for this run, because there's no making up time anymore. This is why we have cameras. I just got passed by 4 vehicles at the same time. There was maybe room for 2 between the truck in front of me and this one. And look at that. Might as well add a 5th one in there. So there's been a ton of scenarios where that camera is required to sort out issues caused by idiots like that. And they're all going to go for it at the same time and pass that truck in front of me. Thankfully, I'm turning left and won't be on the highway for much longer. They can't even see. Pouring rain, and they're all going, oh, look at that. There's a semi coming, too. Foolishness. like around here. They're just straight forever. Not too many corners to take. There's no hills at all. Like actually 0 hills in 13 hours of driving that I could put a percent on a hill and, you know, need to worry about the grade of the hill. Except for when you go into Peace River and cross that bridge we already went. That's the only hill in 800 kilometers. You can see the most awesome sunsets, and you can also see the storm in the distance all the time. So up here we have a little issue. This is a protest. A lot of individuals have come together to shut down a road. They are protesting the oil field. I believe this is an obsidian site. Apparently these truckers park their trucks here in support of it. And they've shut that road down. And there's been police here every day. See, we have a big teepee. We have tents and, yeah. This guy on the right here is sunk. He's not going anywhere. He's stuck, buried. And that's been there all week. We are starting to get into the muddy stuff. I should be fine going in because I'm empty. Coming out when I'm loaded and I have all the weight, that's when you really sink and destroy the road. A lot of gravel trucks working today and tankers, so you got to monitor the radio quite a bit. I think so far we're okay. Everything's flooding. Sides of the roads are pretty soft, so we got one lane is the only lane that's safe. So they are dumping gravel on the road, and the grader follows the gravel truck just so I can get through. They got a couple of soft spots here. The other end I'm a little worried about. At the other end, where I have to go and unload, it's going to be a mud bog for 73 kilometers long one way. And I'll have to do that twice to get in and out, just so I can get unloaded. Oh, the ruts are starting to get a foot deep here. It's getting really soft. It's turning into a mud bog. And when you encounter a whole bunch of trucks on this road, it sucks. Oh yeah. Try to avoid going in the hole. Apparently we got a really bad spot coming up in a half a kilometer.
Are you ugly there, driver?
I have no idea how these guys can spend so much time talking on the friggin' radio all the time. Instead of, you know, driving. Oh man, he's got his chains on. Really didn't want to get into that today. So we are now entering the lease, and clearly we're in forest fire territory. This is almost muskeg. Almost. It seems everywhere I go now is forest fire territory. We have arrived. And there's the big tanks I gotta pull from. And there's a big drill in the back, big rig. It's pretty soft. And the first tank is a flowback tank, so we don't go near that one. One of these tanks are filling up. We're going to pull from the very last one. And there's an outhouse if we need it. This is where I change hats. I gotta become Mr. Safety guy. Get all the goods on. All mandatory everywhere you go. So you see, you got all sorts of stuff going on. All these pipes that are feeding these tanks. It's pretty muddy. See, you can hear that thing squealing because it's full of mud. So we have a 3-inch line. You got to have a 4-inch adapter. You got a lever there. This oil is 85 degrees. You do not want to get it on you or have any issues. You can actually see steam coming out of the connection. So then it goes in. You got a lever right here. You got a bunch of valves here. Those valves open the bottoms of the tanks and then the vents so that this thing can vent out as you're loading. And you got a meter for each tank. This thing holds about 43,000 liters or 43 cubes. And we're only going to haul about 32 cubes. So that keeps me just under the legal limits. And even with the road conditions, I really don't know how that's going to go today. But yeah, it's dirty. And it's just got a little vent right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that thing's just pumping steam out of it. So I'll get loaded. So that section took over 2 hours to come down the mountain from because of the conditions. I picked up 2 guys in their new Chevy pickup. It died. Had to give them a ride down the mountain. And now they've changed locations to where I have to go and unload because the conditions are so bad. I don't think I'd even make it the other route that I would normally go. So now I'm going somewhere I've never been. Yeehaw. But I see pavement right there. We are now on the highway, and I can just set the cruise control, doing 100 kilometers an hour for a few hours. The location I was supposed to go to is normally 2 hours up the mountain and 2 hours back down, plus an hour to unload. Sometimes you might get an hour wait there because other trucks are waiting to unload. But I got to go to a different location because this oil is supposedly dry now. And what that means is a lot of times when they pull oil out of the ground, it has a lot of water in it. And in order for oil to be considered dry, it has to have 0.5% water in it. Anything above that is considered wet. So if I go to this location now and they test it and it turns out that it's not 0.5, that means I got to go to the other location, and on a day like today, that's going to be probably 3 hours up and 3 hours down the mountain. And I think I'm already 6 or 6.5 hours into this run. So your day can change at any given time. And you can't really say that all oil hauling is the same. It's not. Everywhere you go is different. When I was at Fox Creek, my runs consisted of me chaining up 4 times a day. I was driving a tri-quad tanker, which meant I had a tank on the truck and I had a tank on the trailer, and I would have to drop the trailer and then go into locations that were really crappy to get to and shuttle back out and fill the trailer, and then go back in and get another load. And some of those runs are very long days. Fingers crossed this is dry. It would be nice to not get in at 2 in the morning or something, and not have to chain up to go 73 kilometers mud bogging. So we'll see. Back home, it was 31 degrees Celsius just in the last week. It is 0 degrees. It's freezing here. I don't remember what that is Fahrenheit. I think 32 is freezing Fahrenheit. So we're going to do another load, and I will film where we go to unload as soon as we're done. But this makes it easier for me to film the off-roading adventures. And Stacy hasn't been up here before, so yeehaw. So now that I can not have to focus on the steering wheel, I'll show you what we're dealing with here. It's not too bad today. It's pretty hard still, but it's going to get uglier. So we're officially on our way out and headed to Secure in Nipsey to unload. And we're in the muddy section, but it's nothing crazy. Loaded tanker for Baytex, and I was speaking to an operator last night who runs his own truck up here, and just wondered what it's like if you own your own truck. And he runs a Super B, so he doesn't go to the really heavy locations, but he said he spends so much money on mechanical that it's not even worth it. There's a lot of guys that are selling their trucks right now. He said it just, all of this type of work just destroys your truck because he doesn't have his own mechanic. As a company, it's very financially beneficial for you to have a mechanic on payroll versus sending it to a shop. That makes all the difference in the world. He literally is spending all of his profits that would be on fixing stuff from these roads. Just so you guys know, those of you that are watching stuff and wondering, should you buy your own truck? This isn't the type of work to be an owner-operator unless you have a mechanic in your pocket. Big swamp. point out these signs, these road signs here. Those white signs that are supposed to have the name of the roads on them. We have had no service for several hours, and we have no map. We have no directions on this new route we're taking. So we got lost, and every single road around here has road signs with nothing on it. I think we've passed at least 5 now. hold of us because there's no boosters in our trucks. So I just want you guys to know what to expect if you decide you're going to run an oil tanker in the oil field. Not sure if you guys can see, but those are all lakes. Of course, trees are in the way. It's pretty flat up here. There we go. This is the first hill climb I have seen in a week. This is the biggest hill I've seen in
10 kilometers, turn left onto Highway 750.
Alright, 10 kilometers and turn left. I just wanted to enjoy this hill because it's the only one we're going to see for a while. So, I have put on around 4,000 kilometers, and everywhere I go has been forest fires. I've been from Grimshaw to Peace River to Slave Lake, High Prairie, High Level, Red Earth, and everywhere it looks like this. This is quite the territory. Check out this wide load. That's a big combine, it looks like. So, our day just took a turn for the worse. We went to a facility to unload, and the oil tested wet. It needs to be dry, which is it's got to be 0.5% water content in it or less. So now we have to go to another location, and by the looks of the truck, you can tell it hasn't been fun. The next location we're going to is 73 kilometers up one road, and the last time I went up it, it's a full-blown mud bog for 73 kilometers straight. And then we got to come out that way. So that is going to add 6 hours to our day. It's probably going to be an 18-hour day. So I am going to take the wheel from this point because the next section is not fair to do to a new driver. So, let's see how this next section goes. And this is the reality. We're already tired. We have 2 drivers, so we're legal. But this is like going to be my 3rd energy drink today. So we're switching from Monster to Rain. And that's just the reality of it. You have to do what you have to do to get through these days. So let's get going. Give you a little idea on what these plants look like. Alright, but that's not where we're going. We are going this way. I was not expecting this video to be this long, but you guys are getting the full tour. And right up here is a security check. We have to check in before we're allowed up this road. Oh, we're not even on the rough part. It's a sloppy mess. Kilometer 6. We have a long ways to go. We're averaging between 20 and 30 kilometers an hour. It's getting rough. You can see where everybody's been spinning the whole way up this hill. Oh, we're spinning. loading those big tanks. And then we have another 5 hours, maybe 6 hours back. This is what a battery looks like in the middle of nowhere. So we're unloaded and we're headed back. It's snowing and it's supposed to snow tomorrow as well. And like I said, this is May long weekend, third weekend of May. And we have about 5 or 6 hours left to go. Jesus. Seems we have 2 trucks on the hill. One up front is stuck, chaining up, trying to get off the hill. Not sure how long we're gonna be here. Yeehaw. This is the second truck we've come across that has cracked his oil pan. It's leaking oil all over the place. It's not looking good. Things are pretty rough. Seems we have another one broke down. This road's been hard on trucks. We've got a few extra clunks and bangs ourselves going on in the truck. We are officially off of that road. The truck is just solid brown. The wheels, everything is just mud. As you can see, we're still in it, and we're about a kilometer from the highway. And we lost the headlight, quit working. We lost the tail light, quit working, and the fender's about to break off. You know that mud on there? That's like 4 inches deep at the back. So Stacy's gonna take the wheel now, and I get to play passenger for a bit. We completed that run, and we're going back to do another one. And the roads have already changed. It's now dried up overnight, and it's extremely bumpy. We're doing like 10 to 15 kilometers an hour. And that run took us 20 hours to do, one run. So for most people that don't know what oil field hauling is like and how oil gets delivered, they don't just pull it on the ground and all of a sudden, you know, you guys have oil. There's thousands upon thousands of tankers hauling it. And the roads we were on today, well, you know, the roads are extremely bumpy and muddy and stuff like that. We didn't have to chain up, so that's actually pretty good conditions. And I've seen conditions where the ruts were 6 feet deep. The trucks were sinking that much, and they had to bring in dozers and have 2 winch trucks just to get them up the hill, because oil production doesn't stop just because the roads are bad. They will winch every truck up that hill to keep that oil rolling. And that's what it takes to get gasoline, to get everything delivered to your homes. It's a brutal job. You're going to do 100, 125 hours in a week. So, we will continue this journey later on. Just wanted you guys to see what this is really like. I don't know what's next. I'll find something better to do.